You're listening to Health Coach Conversations, a podcast where our conversations help health coaches all around the world to level up our businesses and to get more clients. Hello and welcome. I am Kathy Sikora, founder of the Health Coach Group and host of Health Coach Conversations. Today I am here with Tamara Pflug. She is your Swiss fun and confidence coach. Our topic today will be the simple way to start feeling more confident now. Why don't we get started with, tell me about your background and how you got started in coaching and working with self-confidence.
Yes. So I used to be a teacher, which is kind of funny because it's like, it doesn't have so much to do with coaching. And at the same time, I believe this is what we should learn at school, I think. But I used to love, the simplicity, like I think authenticity of kids, they don't take themselves and life too seriously until a certain age, I think. And so back then I realized that something was a bit missing, how the confidence part, I think, how to make decisions and have your own back, like discovering your values. I believe that even if they change along the times, you can still discover them. I don't know, things that make us feel comfortable being who we are. And I started learning life coaching. My mom was already a life coach, so that helped a lot. And I did one certification. Then I had the belief that I was too young to coach when I was 24. So, time is passing just the way that it's supposed to pass. I had funny other experiences. I used to sell on Amazon FBA, which was very interesting. I think being an entrepreneur is the best personal development journey you can do. Not that you have to do this, but and then we sold this business. And then I said, no, I really want to coach people. So I had other certifications just for the fun and to have a nice toolbox. And then I coached on different topics, such like time management, relationship, dating was a very fun one. And I realized that deep down, it comes all the time, often to self-worth, feeling worthy, being good enough. And then I said, no, that's what I want to coach about. And I struggled a lot with this, not wanting to coach when I was 24 because I was not confident. So I said, I was there. And also I think, I can really help. So then I became confidence coach and I added the fun tagline in front because I think we can have also much more fun and take things less seriously.
Yeah, as a parent and a grandparent, I wish that we could put confidence in a box and give it to our kids. How do you do that? How do you learn confidence?
Yeah, that's the great question. That's why I'm here. I think that actually just we are kind of one sort a way of feeling confident. I think confidence is an emotion that we think based on what we're thinking, but we have to cultivate, thoughts around being good enough. And that I think being enough is a decision and not a destination. So, but it's a choice to make every day and to refocus our brain, like redirect our brain when it offers us thoughts like something's wrong with us and we're maybe not good enough. I think it's normal. It just, our brain's job isn't to make us happy. It's to keep us alive. So we have to overcome evolution, And then slowly feel more confident. But I think the difference between confident people and non-confident, people like to say, is just going down to what we believe about ourselves, but what we cultivate really along the years. But it is a skill to develop. So I'm there for it.
Do you think sometimes we have to get out and fall on our face or accomplish something over and over again to develop confidence?
I would not rely on this because it's, again, never what's happening, like what achievement we're getting to that actually makes us confident. It's what we give ourselves permission to believe. Like I got there, so I give myself permission to feel confident. I think the opposite is true when we give ourselves the feeling of we are worthy no matter what. I think it's making first the journey much more lighter, much more funnier because we don't need to get there to feel a certain way. We can already feel this way, and then we do it just for the fun. And I think, I like to give the example. You mentioned your mother and your grandmother, so I'm wondering if you got your kid at 5 years old. But anyway, so if you're a mother and grandmother, it means that you saw little newborns like in your arms, and they are so valuable. They are so important. They did not accomplish anything. They did not achieve anything. They are worse than speaking. Like they are making lots of noise, keeping us from sleeping. So they are very worthy. So we are just grown-up newborns, I believe. So that's how I choose to look at it, because then it's a matter of perspective, of course.
Can anyone feel more confident? Or are there some people that just can't?
No, it's possible for everybody if they want to, for sure. No, I cannot even. I believe, like, no, for sure. If we have a human brain, I'm wondering if a cat, actually, if a cat can feel confident. No, I think if you have a human brain and we develop the skill of watching ourselves think and decide what to think instead, if we want to, it's in the power of everybody.
What do really confident people have that people without confidence are missing?
I think the belief that, like what we just mentioned, actually, what we just talked about, that actually we can feel confident no matter what, that it's not depending, I believe, in like what we accomplish or in what family we grew up or what job we have, what partner we have. But of course, when people say there's nothing to do, I cannot be confident, this is what they will create for themselves. So this is what I want to offer somebody. I always like to say, just imagine, just for today, tomorrow you can go back if you want, but just for today, imagine that it would be possible for you to just believe 1% more, then people use it against themselves, that they need to feel like they be a fan of themselves, like today, so they can feel confident. I think it's every day it's 1% more. And again, even the journey has to be fun, even the journey to feel more confident can be light and not taking it too seriously. It just makes things easier to be confident, because then you kind of feel at home and you can face any adversity life throws at you.
Okay, so if we were to do one thing or become just a teeny bit more confident, what could we do to do that right now?
Simple, not easy, but simple. Not easy because I have to have a job, I'm kidding. But simple is really just to see ourselves thinking, like observe. So going out of our body, we all have 60,000 thoughts per day. 85% is negative because the brain is scanning for danger. So it is going to criticize, judge ourselves in the first place, for sure. So yeah, really to not believe everything we think. It's not because we believe something must be wrong with me, that actually something is wrong with us. It's just a thought. When you think about it, it's just words next to each other and we give them so much meaning. Mm-hmm. So it's never what we're thinking that matters. It's how much, it's like clouds in the sky. We can just see them passing. But the problem is that then we act on them, like we show up in the world based on what we're thinking. And this is where our power resides. To go back to what you asked before, in my humble opinion, I think we do not need to get somewhere to feel confident, because I believe that, we can feel it just like 1% more just by not believing this kind of thoughts. And just before we started speaking, it's funny because my brain was like, you're tired, you will relax after this. And I just told myself, as much as I'm practicing this over the years, I told myself, I know, brain, I know you just want to relax, which is one of the predispositions of our brain. It just doesn't want to save energy, And I'm not going to be eaten by a lion. She sounds nice, Cat is nice. I'm just going to have fun. And then I will relax. So yeah, just to say, do not believe everything your brain is telling you. Very simple.
Don't believe everything you tell yourself. Is that right? What it is? Yeah.
Exactly. No, I like to say myself, like, this is a thought. I'm not my thoughts. And this is my brain. I am not my brain. Like, I have a brain. Then we identify ourselves like this, like I'm not a confident person, just because we wake up thinking that maybe we're not good enough because this did not succeed. What you mentioned about failures, but this is another topic.
Most of our listeners are coaches or doctors or nutritionists or life coaches, people who work all the time. And they go through the same thing that you said you went through when you were 24. What would you tell yourself now that now to maybe make you feel more confident when you were 24, to let yourself know that you were capable? Because you were. Right?
So funny, my brain is still telling me, no, you are not. No, I agree with you with all this 10 years after wisdom, sorry. I would say it's a great question. I think I would have, yes. I think that no matter the age, because then, we will hear people in their 60s saying it's too late. So there's always a good excuse. So what should we do? What is the perfect age? Like 42. But if you did not achieve this, how can you, take your people where have you been there? So I would say just that I think everybody has something to offer. Mm-hmm. And it goes also with the idea of not setting a goal or wanting to achieve something from a place of lack, that this, again, as we mentioned, there will be better there. I'm going to prove to myself, because again, always facts and circumstances. We give ourselves permission to believe something about ourselves there. But when you think about it, people that get certification, it's never enough. So enough is a moving target. So really that I think we all have something to give. And if I could go back at 24, yeah, which the only thing that stopped me was really what I was thinking and telling myself, which is in a bigger nutshell, what we all, what we want in life, just a bunch of thoughts in the middle. And that's the thing to overcome. And so, yeah, to answer the question, I think everybody has something to give, no matter the age. And I think then there is, maybe it sounds very cliche, but people older, I would say, have a lot of wisdom and a lot of maybe, I don't know what people would say, but like, I was going to say what you think, because you said your grandmother, but I want to say your, but like, what do you have to say, to young people? Maybe relax, don't take it so, I think we all have something, and maybe young people are a bit fresh, like naive point of view. You can do anything you want,
Yeah. Young people don't have the barnacles that old people have,
Exactly. And I think, it's funny you say this. I wanted to ask you what you think of this. They say that a lot, kids and actually maybe teenagers, they think a lot about the future, like they make plans, and adults, I don't know what age, up to what age, you think a lot about the past, like things you should have make differently, marry somebody else. And so how is it after? Like, I don't know. But I put you in the middle, like the teenager age. So you're there for me.
Okay. So what does intuition have to do with self-confidence?
Amazing question. So I think that as like I was building my business, I had my other business. So talking from experience with like marketing and all of this, all the things that are available today, which I think it's a very abundant world. We can find so many different techniques, advice out there. And I really started building my business, which also is one, I was a coach, and now I became a genie, because I think that I can grant anybody's wishes. So I really started to develop my intuition in the past few years. For every question I have, I think we can use it even if we don't have our own business. But like, as you mentioned, for your audience, I think it can be very relevant to think, for every question I have, my first guess is my best answer. Like what you mentioned also about failure before. I think that this is how we develop our intuition, by trusting really this inner guidance that we have. And I think we don't use it enough, because the worst that can happen always when we try something is just to make a different decision, doing something else. It's not such a big deal. But the benefits of actually trusting our intuition is, again, like you feel at home, because you develop this ability of listening to your guts, and you almost cannot, when you start going into this direction and listening for everything, professional, personal life, you almost cannot like go back to checking for somebody else's answer or advice. And I think now I really found myself doing it my way, because I want to pave the way to do things differently and to listen to our intuition no matter what. And now I see that it's just my brain wanting to look for the advice, or like to look for somebody else, what they did. So then we can share the failure, so then I don't have to feel the failure on my own. But if I listen to my intuition, I'm all alone, there, but it's also so much empowering, because when it works, you feel so proud. So, and then you can also feel proud while you try. Like, this is, what do you think? I'm curious about the intuition.
Oh, yeah. I believe in intuition.
Yeah, exactly. It depends if you believe. Then it's like everything, I like the idea of, how do you call it? The hammer, that it's used how to build a house, or you can also kill somebody, because I love all thrillers and stuff. But what I'm saying, it all depends what we use it for. Like, people that don't really believe or are afraid of using it, it's like when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. Like, you don't have to use something that is not for you. I believe that slowly we can use our intuition just to feel better, feel aligned, and trusting ourselves. And to answer your question, now I just realized, it's, of course, it helps being confident, because then you realize that you have all the answers inside of you, and that people's feedback, people's ideas are great. You can always ask yourself, like, this is interesting. And what do I really think? Like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do something else? So it's a situation of take the best, leave the rest, and feel confident, because the worst case, like, the worst thing that can always happen is an emotion, I believe. Yeah. So if that's it.
Sometimes I think it takes confidence to follow your intuition. And maybe it takes some successful tries with your intuition to trust it too.
Yes, absolutely. And I would just say to this, I think again, when you say it takes confidence, it can be as simple as just one thought, like maybe it is gonna work out. This could feel us, courage or brave or confident. It's that easy. And then if we believe this to be true, we will feel confident enough to listen to intuition. So it can be that simple, when people think it's like a mountain to climb to feel confident, I think it can be as simple as just having one thought we believe to be true that makes us feel confident.
Right.
Need a comprehensive solution? The Health Coach Group's Platinum Packages offers a business in a box, providing everything you need to start and grow your wellness practice. Let's build your future together. Visit thehealthcoachgroup.com.
What about affirmations?
So it's so funny because it makes me laugh because sometimes I start working with people and they tell me, I'm just telling you, I don't want to look at myself in the mirror and repeat affirmation that I don't believe. And I say, honestly, like, no problem. I totally get it. And I'm not forcing against it. It's to serve the person. So I think affirmation, if we don't believe them, it doesn't have so much impact. Like for sure, if you repeat, like, I'm the best. I like, the idea of I'm the best thing that ever happened to me. Like I say to people, you are the best thing that ever happened to you. If they don't believe it, it's like just gonna, pass in front of them. So I think affirmation, what it works, it's like trying close us in a changing room. It's trying if it really creates the emotion of confidence or any other emotion we want the affirmation to make us feel. So it's really to try it on and see if it feels confident, and then yeah, we can cultivate more thoughts around it. The idea, the way that we do it is the way I do it is to create bridge thought, like ladder thought, that is something a little bit more believable, such as there is a possibility that I'm the best thing that ever happened to me. Or even, when we have the negative thoughts, as we mentioned before, I'm maybe not good enough. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like there is a chance that actually my brain is not right. I don't know, because the brain likes to solve problems. The brain likes to be right. So the moment again, when you question this, this is the way. Yeah, my answer.
You know what? There's the old Taoist theory that where your thoughts, when you change your thoughts, you change your life. And the affirmations, I think, can help with that, because they can maybe direct your thoughts in a more positive manner, can't they?
Absolutely. And I heard, if you go after a bit more into this spiritual way, but I heard that actually it's not spiritual. I think the subconscious mind is proven by the psychologists and all the people on your podcast. I heard it once, somebody mentioning it. So, I mean, it exists. It's not, out of the world. But what I want to say by this is actually the subconscious. I heard that if you repeat affirmations in the morning, right after you wake up, or right before going to bed, this is how you can reprogram your subconscious mind. And I agree with you. One of my coaching certification is based around cognitive behavioral therapy that says the big lines that our thoughts create our reality, which I find very empowering. At first, you're like, no, I don't want to take care of all my life, by taking care of my thoughts. And sometimes it's why we did not learn this at school. Then we have much more is in our power. So I agree with you.
I don't ever remember not being confident or not knowing that I could do what I wanted to do. But I can remember back in my 20s, Anthony Robbins had this whole set. He had those, I'm going to age myself, but these were probably VCRs and cassette tapes,
I had them also.
Yeah. And he had this one cassette tape that was a holophonic subliminal on confidence. And I listened to that thing over and over, and I didn't know if it was going to do any good, but I wanted it. So,
and it did? I think it did, but also it did because you believed it will, you understand?
Right.
So like both of them for sure. Yeah, Robbins, I think he has such an example. He also says, the quality of your life depends on the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. This was something that's right, because it is true. If you ask what's wrong with me, your brain will come up with answers. And now with the habit, I'm not under my watch. I'm not beating myself up. So I'm changing the question. Oh, this was a good question that I heard. I wanted just to say this now that you mentioned affirmation. I heard of affirmations, I think. I'm not sure, copyright to that person, but they said that something better than affirmations is actually to ask yourself the question of something that you already want to happen. Like, for example, feeling successful. Why am I so successful? Or why am I good enough? It's even better that I am good enough. That seems maybe not achievable because you don't believe it, but why am I successful makes your brain actually focus on based on the idea that you're already successful. So why am I such a sporty person? I'm trying to, why am I such in a good shape? I'm trying, but then my brain is
there you go.
struggling with
Why
this
are
one,
my
but
muscles so big?
but it's more, again, it makes the journey much funnier, than trying to, but it's interesting, your VHS, you still have it? You don't have the machine to listen to it?
Oh, no.
I had it, so that's fun.
No, now you can get on the cloud and pick up anything. You don't need to have anything
On YouTube, yes.
space.
There was no internet back then. I can't believe it.
No, but you know what? My grandkids are getting the albums again. The not the 45s, the 33s. The big albums with all of the old music on it.
Oh, that's so fun. I just remember fighting all the time because people were not, like my sisters were not, you needed to reward like all the VHS. So we always get mad that somebody did not do it. And today we just forgot, So anyway, for the young people listening.
I asked them, I said, do you have something to play that on?
Yeah. But every time we live now in the best time ever, but this time, like, we'll never forget, I think. And all due respect to all these people that actually, Tony Robbins like became famous without social media, without any podcast and anything. I have so much respect. Today it seems easier, but we have other problems.
Okay, so what is the real impact? This is really a good question. What's the real?
The other ones were not good.
Yeah, they're all good. But what is the real impact on a life when you are feeling confident?
Such a great question. And I would like to hear your answer to it, but of course, I will start giving a direction. Okay, perfect. Now I want to hear, I love also hearing other people. I think it says a lot about what confidence sounds like to them. To me, I think I mentioned it a bit before, like just feeling at home inside of you, feeling, like you're in control, you don't take things personally, you have kind of this unconditional love for you, but for also other people, because you know that everybody struggles with these 60,000 thoughts per day. You have so much more compassion for other people, but also for yourself. And then this brain energy that I feel we don't have so much, it can be put towards something funnier, like something that will make us grow, but not on beating ourselves up, judging others. We still do it, but we don't make it mean like something's wrong. We just feel at home. And to me, confidence in a few sentences is actually being able, it's the willingness and the ability to feel any kind of emotion. So then you feel the emotion, because sometimes you also want to feel, negative emotions such as like grief, sad when something's sad. You don't want to be happy when somebody's sad, but you still, I don't know, you have this inner peace, this emotional freedom that like you still feel at home, even if things are happening in your life. And as we talked before, I think it's coming back to the idea that circumstances and facts don't make us feel a certain way, but it's our thoughts, our interpretation of them, which again, where our power resides. Because then if somebody dies, you do want to be sad, but you almost feel happy to be sad because you feel connected to this emotion, but you don't have the the optional suffering of, I shouldn't feel this way, negative emotions are horrible, because basically people, we are afraid of, staying in negative emotion. But when you feel so much at peace on the inside, and you know that an emotion is passing, like you are practicing it, there's nothing that you can really be afraid. Or, I think insecurity, it comes down often to, feeling rejected, being alone. But very often we want other people to give us something that we don't give to ourselves in the first place. So I think it makes sense just that if we do this for ourselves, then people are just a bonus, and then and you're also funnier to be around. I think people just like more people that feel this way than very attached, to other people's like actions and, be in control. You just surrender, What's your definition? Oh, sorry.
You said, I've been around enough people who don't have self-confidence that I don't understand why not, because they're such special people with such special talents and gifts. And, I struggle with this a lot, but I think you said something about it, doing things for other people. I think if you can make a difference in the lives of others, I think that helps to bring up your self-confidence. And I think that's one thing that anybody that wanted to up their self-confidence could do. Just go out and do. And most of the people that are listening to this today are people that want to make a difference in the lives of others. And I think that would be a good first step, is look at other people first. And I think that will pull out the things that you are strong on, and give you confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it makes me think, for everybody, exactly what you said, that wants to serve, maybe this is more for business owners. I don't even think so. I think everybody deep down, no, we want to live aligned to like our true values, but I think serving also, it comes down to this. And Tony Robbins, he says all the time, you cannot suffer when you're serving. So
That's right.
when you're helping others, otherwise we are so focusing on ourselves, and always it's from a good place, but you cannot suffer when you're serving. And it is so true when you think about the next person, the next listener, how you can help them. It's bigger than you,
Right.
Wise guy. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate it. You've got a free offer for anybody that's listening, 11 believable thoughts to immediately feel confident. And it's at personal-development-zone.com. And we'll put that link underneath your podcast interview so everybody can find it. And then I think we've got a website for you too. Yeah, we'll put that underneath there too, so anybody can contact you.
That's amazing. Thank you. Well, one of the sentences, one of the believable thought is, it's okay that, because we want everybody to love us. Not everybody, but we rather have people loving us, so then we can, obviously, that now after this conversation, loving ourselves. And I like the idea. I wrote this thought inside. It's okay that not everybody likes you, because not everybody has good taste, So
That's right.
And I'm like, it's fine, just don't. And also, you don't want
everybody. They know what they're talking about, they will like you.
Exactly. And if they don't, they're just missing out,
That's right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to the show. If you liked what you heard, please give us a 5-star rating or review on iTunes.